Everyone wants to take their business, their skills, to the next level. Small and mid-sized business owners have exceptional insight into how to do this. They endure and thrive because they find ways to overcome the challenges that come their way, and they can teach us valuable lessons to apply to our own companies and lives. Stephen Nooner, founder and owner of Alkali, a company with a unique process that helps businesses more effectively buy and manage their insurance programs. And Bob Gibbons, builder of Riata Commercial Realty, a real estate advisor and tenant advocate, are two prominent Metroplex businessmen who, along with their weekly guests, will ask their and your probing questions, finding impactful solutions that will help you reach for the next level. Here are your hosts, Stephen Nooner and Bob Gibbons.
Welcome to The Next Level, conversations that propel business. This is Bob Gibbons.
And I'm Stephen Nooner, and we have a special guest today that I'd like to introduce, and his name is Alan Sweitzer. He is the owner of Royal Catering, a very unique and specialized catering company here in Dallas. We're going to learn more about what he does. They employ about 42 people and have been in business since 1985. If you want to learn more about Royal Catering or Alan, please visit royalcateringdfw.com. So glad we don't have to spell anything.
Yeah, that's pretty easy.
Welcome, Alan.
Well, thank you. I don't know about special, but it's good to be here.
Yeah, you never know when somebody calls you special, if that's a compliment or not.
Yeah, could be a disability in my
Bob,
case.
don't project. Don't project.
Okay, well, moving right along. So we're going to start off with a quote, and this one is from Anonymous. Is that the guys with the funny mask on the internet?
Yeah, they are. They're the ones that shut things down.
Okay, so Anonymous said, "A good leader inspires people to have confidence in their leader. A great leader inspires people to have confidence in themselves." You gave us that quote, Alan. Why is that one important to you?
It's kind of a cornerstone for the whole business growth thing, and it goes into some of the history of this, where I started out and did kind of everything myself with just a couple employees for a few years, and figured, I can have people come to me and feel good about all of the things I tell them to do and the advice, but at some point they need to feel confident in their own thoughts, advice, and actions, and so kind of remove yourself from that element, and it's the only way to really go home at the end of the day not exhausted.
Interesting.
To have people that can feel good about their own decisions, and even if they made a mistake, hey, they have confidence in themselves, and they'll get better.
So, Stephen, you've got a bunch of employees. What do you think of that quote?
I think that's something for me that I'm still struggle with and aspire to. I mean, it's next level leadership where you can actually help people become leaders themselves.
Yeah, we employ a lot of people that even my top management, these are people that are very smart, very hardworking, but none of them have college degrees or advanced education. So they kind of come to you for that, and confidence is a big thing. Because the people that run my business are awesome, but they're not business school trained.
Well,
and they're young. They're very young.
When you mentioned confidence, how often do you think that is a product of confidence for them? It's like they know what to do, but they lack the confidence in order to be able to lead.
You see it like a light bulb in their eyes. I mean, at first there's just a lot of, they're very confident in you and the advice you're giving them and telling them to do, and over time you see yourself removed from the equation, and you find out in more, forensics what happened. And it's a great feeling. At first you feel a little weird. You're like, I didn't even know this happened. And then
that's the goal, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
That
is the
and
goal.
That's the thing I like about this quote is that, the first statement says that you still have to be involved. And the second statement is you've created a business that can run without you. Which
Absolutely,
is really
you haven't
what
abdicated. You're just not standing on their desk when they're making decisions. And again, it's not a natural feeling at first, but over time it becomes kind of natural. And then you just know they're doing these things, and you don't have to be aware of every little detail and every little decision, every little challenge. I mean, when you have businesses with people delivering food all over the Metroplex, you're going to have some hiccups.
And you just hit a kind of a milestone with that, if you don't mind. I mean, you shared something with us right before we came in the studio. You had kind of a big moment this year at Christmas.
Yeah. I mean, I've worked in the hotel industry since I graduated from college with a hotel degree, and started in food and beverage, and worked in companies like Marriott and Harvey Hotels. And I've never been to a Christmas party where I wasn't working in my life. And so I got to go to a Christmas party this past December on I think it was the 16th, at a hotel, and it was just amazing that I didn't have to go back and be a bar back and get beer for the bar or something. So it's a great feeling that we were having a busy night and I didn't have to be there working.
Did you know how to, to mingle and, did you know what to do as
It was a
as
little odd, but
patron?
after a few Tanquerays and sodas, I was doing pretty well. But yeah, that was almost a milestone moment for me because I love the hospitality business, but you were working when everyone else is playing.
Right. Well, but it's a testament back to your quote, right? You had built your business. Maybe it took you 15 years to be confident that you could then.
Yeah.
You had the leaders in place to be able to lead, and you'd be able to go enjoy life a bit.
Absolutely. And people say, "Oh, well, you've done really well," and I'm like, "Well, yeah, it took 15 years. It wasn't like I just started in 2013 and I'm done." And it's a. I love the old 20-mile march. Jim Collins quote. You want to go for that 20% growth a year and slug it out, but I don't want to try a 200% growth year. Your heart would explode.
So let's take us back to the beginning. How did you get into this business, and when did you get into this business?
Well, I had an awesome job, like we were talking before, and you had a job you loved, and it kind of went away. And I had the same thing. I had done sales and marketing for hotels, and I got a job with a local company that is they do the technology that books hotel rooms online, inventory, that kind of thing. They were a spinoff from the old Sabre, did the online airline stuff. And we were a new business unit for them. It was Pegasus Solutions, the company. And it was a great job. My job was to travel around the country, the best resorts in the world, like the Broadmoor and all the Club Core resorts and things, and just, Homestead and those, and just consult them on marketing. I did that for about 2 years, and then they decided to eliminate our business unit. And, they were really great, and I got a severance package, and I got to fly around and get my clients on new platforms and things, new vendors. And I'm like, okay, I knew about Royal Catering, had been there. Was sort of just stagnant, a couple employees. It was losing money. The owner was sort of like, not really wanting to continue. And so I said, well, what an opportunity. Just jump, I didn't even think about it, and it's funny because people start businesses who they have this wonderful, unique market position, and I had none of that. I didn't have any epiphany about, hey, here's how I can make this. I just said, I'm going to do it. Just going to do it, and then didn't know what I was going to do. So. And
it started off with 2 employees.
We had a cook and a deli prep, and I think 1 delivery person.
And you have 42 now.
Yes, and on a day like today, like we have a big party tonight. We're doing a big. We love parties for like car dealerships. We're doing the new Panorama release tonight.
Oh, sweet.
So we probably have 40 people just working that one party. And plus, so we use a lot of contract help as well. So about 42 that full-time payroll according to the state of Texas.
Wow. That and Obamacare are the things that matter.
Right? So we might, on a holiday in December, have over 150 people working on a particular day.
And so you bought it. I mean, you just jumped at it.
Yeah.
And your initial strategy was?
This, again, I go back to the hotel world because that's what I did. And I did a number of things where we would like renovate hotels and reopen them in places like Jackson, Mississippi, where I lived. And, we didn't know what we were doing. They bought it and they renovated it. And I call it heads in beds, baby, heads in beds. I don't care what it is or what, as long as it costs more than, the cost per occupied room, we took it, And so that was my philosophy with this business. We took everything. We did, cafeteria feedings and things like that nothing wrong with that, but we don't do those things now so much. We really kind of, it took us a few years to figure out I love the Jim Collins thing, 2 inches wide, 2 miles deep. We kind of kept pushing that target base in to find our Joe Perfect client. But at the beginning, we just took anybody with a pulse.
So did you strategically do that, or was it trial by error? Just say, what I want to stop doing and what I want to do more of?
Yeah, it started out we just wanted cash flow. I mean, we're a super high cash flow business, and in the early days, I would literally have to run to my personal savings to get money to make payroll. And luckily, that's been a number of years since that's happened, but we just needed cash coming in. And over the time, we just figured out, here are the clients that appreciate what you do. Our Joe Perfect client is, it's their administrative type person, or maybe they're in HR recruiting, and they bring in people to do, training sessions. They're investing in putting people in hotel rooms. So they need the catering to go well, or it screws up their whole project. And, people lose their jobs. And
sure.
There are a lot of stress involved with the people that we try to make their, we're like a big Tylenol bottle for them. We want to make them, is your guy going to be there for breakfast? And he'll be there. Don't you sleep in and relax. And so we look for the client that sees the value. And we, I go into a new company, I tell them, off the bat, hey, we're not maybe the solution for all your business. If they have maybe something new hire where they just want to throw some sandwiches in some bags on the corner, that's great. And they can find a cheaper, venue to do that. But if it's your stuff that matters, your training classes, your executive things, a special event like a party for the entire office, or it matters, then call us for that. But we don't want to try to be the Walmart of catering or anything like that.
And you said it matters. Is there a certain size though that of a company that?
There's a sweet spot.
Okay.
Yeah, there's too small, obviously, where they don't have enough going on, and then there can be too large, which gets to be more, over 1,000 or 2,000, where they have an in-house, industrial feeding unit thing where they do the cafeteria and all the catering and everything under contract. And that's one of the only times over the years, the only few times we've lost clients. We had one out in Irving down the road here at the airport, and they got a mandate from corporate. They had to use Sodexo Marriott for all their North American catering and cafeterias. So we lost that, and the ladies were crying because they liked us so much. But
wow.
Some clients can be too large in that they have to use some big feeding service
sure.
thing,
and it's decentralized.
It comes from California.
Right.
North America, boom, they're out. So
yeah, I've been to those catering events where the food felt like it came.
Yeah,
it tasted like
it's like your dorm.
California.
It's great if you're a college kid in a dorm, but it's not catering.
So one of the things you mentioned that I thought was really interesting is that early on you sketched out an org chart and just put your name in where there wasn't anybody to fill it other than you right now.
What a strange exercise. But, I started out, one of the things that scared me about doing this is, a lot of the people that I considered, competitors as we grew over the years, and they didn't really grow, were people who were culinary. And I worked in food and beverage, but I was never a chef. And people always ask me, are you the chef? I'm like, no, I have a great chef and culinary team. But most of my competitors, they go in there and they're chefs and they own the business and they go in the kitchen every day and they cook. And I didn't want to buy a job. I wanted to buy a business that would become a company. And I didn't want to buy a job that if I was sick, it didn't happen. Or, you got to be there. So I did the org chart thing, and I would draw, things like, operations. I'm not an operations guy. I like sales and marketing and going out and developing clients and the relationships. So I developed, the operations side, all that, and just as people grew in the positions, and I've had people with me for 14 years, 15 years since the beginning. And my director of client services has been with me, I think, 11, 12 years. She runs the place now and just does an awesome job, and started out as a kid. So as they grew in their abilities, I would put their names in and take my name out. And so you work yourself into, I think if you're going to be successful, you better try to focus on the things you're good at, not try to get better at what you're not. And
I think it's a brilliant idea. I mean, so what I want to know is how many spots on the current org chart have your name on it still?
Just one. Client relationships.
Wow.
And that's it. That's all I do is go see clients. So.
Do you backfill? So when you have someone else in that role, do you have whoever I think is behind that person in case they get promoted, or they?
We do that, and that's the big thing is we just don't want to find ourselves. I think promoting from within is in my company, and I don't know about the industry. In my company is crucial, because hiring someone from another company that has the way they've done it for years is very difficult. So we always try to have the next person in line to move into a position from internal. That doesn't always work out that way, but in any kind of a leadership position, we've promoted from within almost exclusively.
That's awesome.
Do you attend all the events that your company caters?
No. I'm going to go to the one tonight.
He was at a Christmas party, Bob.
Yeah. I'm going to go to the one
I
tonight and see the new Porsche, because I'm excited about that. But I can't, I don't. But I do go see the clients on a regular basis.
That's awesome. Well, we're going to go to a break, but growing a business, how important is it to have friendships with other business owners? We're going to get Alan's perspective. Stick around.
And now, Confessions of a Recovering Landlord.
This is Bob Gibbons with Riata Commercial Realty, and I am your recovering landlord. After 20 years as a landlord, I now use that experience only for the benefit of companies that lease or buy office buildings and warehouses. Today's confession: knowledge is power. We all negotiate from a position of power and strength, or at least we want to. In any negotiation, the party with the most knowledge probably has the upper hand. And landlords count on this being the case whenever you're negotiating a lease, because most landlords are professional real estate investors and they hire professional leasing agents and property managers. Landlords are in the market every day negotiating leases, while tenants probably only negotiate one, maybe two leases every few years. So tenants feel outgunned. Don't let landlords have all the power. As a former landlord for 20 years, I understand how landlords think and what motivates them. So let me put that knowledge and experience to work on your side of the negotiation. To learn more, contact me at texastenantrep.com. Again, that's texastenantrep.com.
Have you started making plans to take your business to the next level in 2016? Hi, I'm Stephen Nooner, founder and CEO of Alkali. We have a trademark process called the Empowered Advantage that enables CEOs, business owners, and entrepreneurs to more effectively buy and manage their insurance. Before sitting down to make your plans for the new year, here are just a few things to consider. Would you say that you have an actual insurance strategy, one that you can articulate, or have you just purchased a policy here and there over the years? If you have an insurance strategy, was it discussed under the pressure of a renewal deadline or considered earlier in the year to avoid fire drill decision making? If your answer was no to either of these questions, then you may not have the right partner on your team. Visit alkaliservices.com to contact us and take the next step to a bigger and better future.
Hi, my name is Hussein Manji with DHD Films and Video Plus Print. Storytelling is our business, and I'm here today with Steve and Bob to teach them how to tell a story so they don't put their listeners to sleep.
Welcome back to The Next Level. We're here with our special guest, Alan Sweitzer, special in the good way, with Royal Catering.
So
to
fun.
learn more about Alan or Royal Catering, please visit royalcateringdfw.com.
Okay, so Alan, we were talking about all your, who your ideal client was in terms of size, but it goes beyond that. And you mentioned something about a three-legged stool in helping you figure that out and explain that to clients. What does that
health
mean?
insurance, life insurance, disability insurance, right?
It's not all
I think
about
you can
you,
apply
Nooner.
that to a lot of different metaphor to a lot of different industries. But for us, our food is awesome. But to me, that's the price of entry. And with every
Wait a minute, so I shouldn't select my caterer based on the quality of the food?
if they don't have good food, they're not going to be around. So that's irrelevant. They're going to be toast and eat. They won't make it at all. Everybody's got good food, and a caterer that has been in business for 5-10 years has to. The difference is between, and maybe a fast casual restaurant that's really decided to get into the catering world because they want some quick cash on that, and they're dropping off food. And the food, I'm sure, is great. I mean, I love Chipotle. It's awesome. I eat there all the time. But do I want to order it for my catered meeting? Maybe not, because it's the other parts of the three. You got one leg of the stool there, good food. The other two, a dependable delivery person who's going to be on time, know how to set things up right, is courteous, kind of important too. Maybe not going to get that with just the random delivery person of a restaurant or something.
Mm-hmm.
And number three, the setup that looks like, wow, this could be in a hotel somewhere. It's beautiful with the chafing dishes and all the serving utensils, and oh my gosh, the food's actually the right temperature when they eat it, kind of thing. So for us, the great food, the dependable professional service, and then the real catering setup, not some aluminum pans thrown on a table. There's the three, and that's very difficult to find. You can go to a hotel and get that, but to get it delivered in your office or at a off-site venue, there's not a lot of people that do it well.
And when you talk about the setup, there's so many different kinds of materials
Yes.
and delivery devices.
Absolutely.
And, quality of China, whatever. I mean, you can't own all of that stuff.
We do, though. We customize
Really?
it. We have a lot of clients that have gotten, in their buildings have gone to some, liability thing where they can't have the open flame sternos. So, we had that happen with a client recently, and we just went out and bought a bunch of the electric plug-in sternos to make sure that those are that their food's hot. We can't do the flame we've always done. So,
But I mean, if I want a Greek theme this week for something, and then I want some Mexican theme, and then the next week I want, whatever else. I mean, snow skiing theme. I mean, you can't have all those.
we can't do everything, and
decorations.
there's a lot of ethnic types of food we don't do, but we do a lot. And that's the thing where a restaurant has real limited. They do what they do. We're a caterer, so we don't have a restaurant open. I mean, it's only based on future orders. It's a sure thing, so that you're going to have fajitas for $400 on Tuesday, and you buy it, and so we can offer a lot of more extensive menus. So a lot of our Joe Perfect, back to that Joe Perfect client, is going to be a training class for 5 days, and they used to use 5 different restaurants because they wanted Tex-Mex day and barbecue day and chicken breast day and Italian day. Well, we do all those, so they'll just call us up and they'll just send us an email and say, hey, give us Italian day and this and then. But they also tell us all their special requests. I got a vegan, a vegetarian, I need a kosher box meal, and we do all that. So we take care of all that stuff.
Do you do a dry hamburger and fries on the side with only cheese on the hamburger?
We do a hamburger bar. It's awesome.
No, I don't want a bar. I just for nooner. I just
Okay, well, we'll do it for you.
You'll find them on lunch,
hamburger.
yeah.
It's the
Can
most
you make
boring
peanut butter and
food.
jelly? Is basically Bob's trying to make fun of my
yeah.
childlike eating habits.
I love PBJ's my go-to. That's my go-to lunch.
So we met. I know you've been growing your company, and we met through Entrepreneurs Organization.
Absolutely, yeah.
And one of the things I thought was interesting that you're sharing is the impact of growing your business had on your personal life, and how you saw EO as one of the potential outlets for, to make a change there. So share a little bit about your journey there.
Yeah, I mean, it's it was one of those voids where you think, okay, I've got great employees and clients and family members and all that, but a lot of times you tell somebody in your family that I want to start a business. They think, well, you're nuts. You don't have that group that you can share with or share life experiences and things. And I spend a lot of time with my kids. I have 2 daughters, and they're getting a little older now. They're teenagers, and then one's in college. And I found myself going, wow, a lot of alone time here. So I discovered EO and thought, well, these people all have businesses of a certain size. I love the fact it's different industries. We talked about earlier, about stealing ideas from other companies. I like stealing ideas from other industries. I don't want to be just being the food guy of it. I want to look at how you do it in insurance and go, how can I take that and apply it to my business? And so I just couldn't find anything. You can't go to meetup groups and meet people that
You don't know what you're going to get.
Yeah, so I like the whole filter process of making sure that you were fit and your company met the size requirements. And so right off the bat, it was a very comfortable experience, and I got my first Christmas party ever out of it. So it was fantastic.
A win-win already.
Yeah,
right?
and it's nice. It's nice. And, the forum groups where you talk about things in your business that you can't maybe talk to an employee about, or somebody at home or something. So it's a great outlet that it really is necessary for someone that's moving forward fast to try to grow their business.
And that was the reason why that struck me is I take for granted that we pretty much serve business owners, right? So I joined EO for personal growth and other types of reasons, but that was unique to me because I almost took for granted how often I work with business owners.
Well, and I take that back to the whole work-life balance thing. I don't believe in a balance. I believe, at some point you go one to the other, but your personal development is your business development.
Sure.
If you're not developing your own personal relationships and having that outlet, then your business development will suffer. So I don't believe in the whole balance thing. I think it's all woven together like a fabric.
Yeah, life gets very blurry between personal and business whenever you own your own business.
I need to not do any business for the next 4 hours because I'm out of balance. I mean, it doesn't make any sense. So if you're feeling good about your relationships and your personal relationships and those people that you can use as resource, call someone in your EO forum and say, hey, I need some advice.
Right.
That all goes together, personal and business.
Yep. Well, we're going to our forum. We have our forum retreat coming out, which is a small group of business owners for those listening. And we share and go deep on different types of issues, and we were deciding what type of exercises, and we chose business. And when I was looking at the business ones, I was like, if I overcome both of those challenges in my business, it's going to be 90% of it's going to be personal growth for me because I'm the bottleneck on both of them.
Exactly.
Well, you've solved a business problem, and that frees up time for personal stuff too. Speaking of business things, one of the things I noticed that you mentioned that I don't think I've ever heard from anybody else is that one way that you improved your business was by having more meetings.
Yeah, it sounds
kidding?
Counterintuitive. I know. I was listening to a book on the way in, and the author was saying, first thing you do is cut your meetings by half. And I thought, oh boy. But when we grew and we went to the second building, we had some people in one building that answered the phones, and some in the other building that talked to clients, and there were people clanging china, and it was horrible. And you couldn't really concentrate, and it was just disjointed. And we moved recently into this just a year ago into a new office suite with all of our client support people together, and I'm thinking I don't have a sales team. I don't have people ask, how many salespeople do you have? None. I mean, we don't have it outside sales. It's all developing the clients that come. And so I wanted my client services people to understand the meaning of the lifetime value of a customer, to understand, how to make the client feel comfortable with the consultative sales that we do with them. And we had to get to the point we have to talk at least once a week about new clients and prospects, and how do we take this new client that we get new clients every week that it's like you're sifting through, prospecting in the river, and there's a nugget at the bottom, and you never know who your next big nugget's going to be. And so I was really kind of frustrated that I hadn't worked with these folks to help them with the resources of developing clients, because I'm not talking to the clients when they place the orders. I may go see them after they become a good client, or on the road to becoming a regular client. But I really wanted to get these folks to be able to be that, the guy in the river looking for the nugget in the rocks, and so we came to just weekly meetings where we talk about new clients and things we need to do to thank our regular clients and new markets and things, and it just got to be real educational.
Bob's wife Jan is frothing at the mouth for Bob to. You got to show up to the meetings now, Bob.
I didn't have any meetings until she showed up.
But if you ever have a meeting where you're like, you walk and go, why? Then obviously stop it.
Probably a bad meeting.
But I'm a big fan of one-on-one meetings, and I think I had a boss in the hotel business years ago, and he used to call them, dumpster talks, dumpster walks, and we would just walk around between the hotel dumpsters and talk, and I'm a big fan of that. I could take my key people out to lunch, every couple of weeks, and just what's frustrating you, what's going on, and what do we need to work on, and that works, I think, pretty well.
Mm-hmm. You mentioned real estate, so I know that you own some of your own or all of your own real estate, I guess. Has that been a positive, negative experience? What can you share there?
Yeah, we would not have had the growth that we had, being, not owning the property. I know different people have different needs and things, but for us, having the initial building that we had, it's a great location. We were outgrowing the production and the staffing and everything that we needed. So the building next door became available about 4 or 5 years ago, and it was literally right next door. And I thought, oh wow, that's great. What are the odds of that happening?
Perfect,
again.
Right?
So I went over and looked at it and thought, this is a train wreck. It was a Middle Eastern meat market where the roof leaked and it smelled like death. And so we I think they slaughtered things in there. And so I said, okay, well, I'm just going to do it because it's I don't want to lose this opportunity. And so we bought it, and then found out a week later the city was rezoning that area and essentially wanting all new construction to come in. It's so we were like, so we went for a year with our contractor to city council to get this stuff done. It took us a year to get the place renovated. It's floor to ceiling, all new building though.
You're glad you did it.
And I'm so glad. It's just such a great. But it was a tough year, but to get through it, it really changed the whole dynamics of everything. And
those planning and zoning guys are real Nazis, I hear.
I was just going to say,
terrible.
Full disclosure, I'm on planning and zoning in Plano.
Okay.
Not Richardson.
Okay. I mean, and at the end of the day, we got everything done we needed. It was like you're driving over there going, please, 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 to yourself going, and then you do like a heel click on the way out when you walk to the car because you got approval on that week's thing.
It's amazing how often though people that don't own your property and don't work for the city either want to tell you how you can run your property.
Oh, we get it all the time. It's like we had a letter last year saying none of our logo vans could be parked on the service road. They had to be parked on the other side, and it's like, well, we have 16 logoed vehicles. We gotta
stack.
They don't want to see the logo on the service road,
garage.
but we can park them on it. So yeah, you get these letters all the time going, what?
Well, Alan, it's been really great spending time with you today. If you want to learn more about Alan or Royal Catering, please visit royalcateringdfw.com.
And if you want to know more about the show, go to nextlevelshow.com. And in fact, if you go to our third show that we did when we first started this 1.5 years ago, we interviewed Joe and Kate Lundgren of Cutting Edge Pediatric Therapy. So if you go explore our archives, one thing that was interesting about them is that Joe didn't want Kate to hire her sister. But she's been a huge blessing. Can you imagine hiring your wife's sister? That could be dangerous. But they did. And so if you want to know more about how to deal with family in your business, go listen to that episode, number 3.
I thought you were going to have them go listen to the Mike Tyson quote that I did.
Well, that's another time. We'll tease that
Same
another
show.
time. See you next week.
Have a great week.
You have been listening to The Next Level, Conversations That Propel Business with Stephen Nooner and Bob Gibbons. Join us every Tuesday at 1:30 p.m. for more prolific conversations that will take your business to the next level.